Hey friends, welcome and welcome back to noseyAF, conversations about art, activism, and social change. I'm your host and friend, Stephanie Graham, and we are in the mix with 31 Days of Black Business, and we are talking to Black folks who are building businesses, who've had businesses for a long time. These people are making things happen and creating something of their own. So, not everybody's life is a reality show or movie scene, but that doesn't mean those everyday stories aren't worth documenting. And that's exactly what today's conversation with our guest, Adrienne Randle, is doing. Adrienne is the founder of Evryday Blk Magazine, available in both print and digital, and she's creating space that puts the spotlight on everyday Black life instead of just celebrities, because the regular stuff deserves to be documented too. And I got to tell you, that is an idea of value that I very much align with. I really think you're going to love Adrienne. She's a whole ball of joy and creativity, and I really admire what she's building. So we're going to play our theme music, and then let's talk with Adrienne. Welcome to noseyAF. Adrienne, welcome to noseyAF.
Hi, Stephanie.
I am so excited to speak with you today. Okay, so, Adrienne, you studied creative advertising at Virginia Commonwealth University, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you've spent years as a designer and entrepreneur. So, what originally drew you to creative work?
It's one of those things, like, I just always been a creative kid. Like, I was in elementary school, like, drawing on folders and notebooks and doing, like, cool little designs. Like, I just have done that my entire life. When I got into middle school, I started taking more, like, computer classes, so really kinda learning this was back when we had, like, Paint
Yeah.
and, make us Microsoft Publisher, so very, like, basic level skills. And it's just kinda something I just naturally came to me. I didn't have a hard time learning it. I had a hard time picking up anything when it comes to the programs, and it just kinda stuck with me.
And as you look back, like what lessons from your early creative journey still sort of guide you today in the work you're doing?
So one of the big things that's, like, a lesson that has now become, like, a mantra in a way is, like, people don't know how it's supposed to look at the end, and that's kinda what I live by. Like, they don't actually know that you made a mistake. They don't know that it wasn't supposed to come out that way. So it allows me a freedom to just kinda do what I feel, do what I like. I'm not a perfectionist, honestly, when it comes to my design work. I aim to do things great, and I aim things to do things, like, correctly, but if it's not perfect per se, I still will publish it because, again, they don't know how the end result was supposed to be. It just takes a little bit of stress off my back, and I feel like that's very creative of myself to be like, "Well, this is it. This is gonna be the end result, and it looks amazing, it looks great, and let people interpret it for how it is, but I'm not gonna think too hard on it about it." So
Oh, that's so good. How did you how do you do that?
I just I just do it. Like, I'm such a go with the flow person. Like, I really am just in my regular everyday life, I'm very go with the flow. Like, I'm even though, like, I run on a schedule, I have things that I do on certain days, I'm still okay with hiccups. Like, if a hiccup happens, it doesn't send me into this spiral. It's just kinda like, "Okay, push it to the next day then."
You're just such a joyful person. With your whole joyful personality and the work that you're doing, it seems like you're always looking to add light to your world. What does that mean in practice to you, adding light to your world?
Um Just always I'm a person who always has a smile on my face. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't have a smile on my face, I'm just not gonna go out the house. I'm just not gonna
Mm.
interact with someone, but I'm always aiming to have a smile on my face, and it makes me feel good to make other people smile. So I am that girl that's walking down the street is like, "Oh my god, I love your hair." Like, I'm that person, like, I'm just that no matter where I am, whether you're, like, a server at a restaurant, I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, your nails are so cute." Like, I just love bringing joy everywhere I am, and it doesn't diminish my light in any way.
I love that. That's so sweet too. Have you ever given somebody a compliment and they're just like, "Thanks."
No, I think maybe it's, like, my approach and how, like, bubbly I am, is most people are just always kinda like, "Oh, thank you." Like, they're just very kinda caught off guard, like, "Oh my goodness, thank you." So, no one's ever been kinda, like, cold to me, At least if they did, I kinda didn't pay attention. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, like, "All right, weirdo, no."
Right.
Before the magazine, many people knew you through Addie Rar?
Yes.
Okay. Was it like Addie Rar?
It actually is like raw, so it's like raw like the dinosaur, so,
Oh, I
it's
love
all
it.
made up, but, like, dinosaur language, quote, unquote, raw means "I love you." So that's, like, how
Oh,
like
really?
yeah, and, like, dinosaur talk.
So, in Jurassic Park, these dinosaurs are just saying they love you, so why are you guys trying to hurt them?
They're just saying, "I love you."
Wow. Okay, I see that movie in a completely different way. How did that business begin?
Oh, Addy Ross started it's a lot of moving parts, but, like, as simple as I can explain it is I guess I went to school for advertising. I have a creative advertising degree, which is, like, this random degree that most people don't have, and it's a degree of, like, all the when you think of, like, an ad or an advertising industry, you think of, like, buildings and people, like, going to meetings, but my degree is focused on really the creation part of it, the creative part of the fun part of it, so the drawing, the painting, the writing the scripts, writing the radio spots, writing the taglines, creating the billboards, creating the magazine ads. Like that's what I literally got a degree in. So I studied that, and it just brings out a side of creativity in you that I can't even explain. Like I was just creative every day in college when I was studying, and then after I graduated college, real world hits you and can't find a job. You can't find a job. So I'm like, but I got this creativity still bubbling in me. I can't really find a job in the advertising world. It's kind of hard to find those type of jobs. People aren't hiring all the time for someone creative to come in. And I just started kind of like freelancing. So I started like designing t-shirts for like organizations. I started doing like logo designs, business card designs, flyers, just all these type of things with my creativity. And that turned into creating like Addie Rar, which is like that's actually my artist name. So it's like the brand name,
Okay.
but it's my actual artist name. I didn't want to go by Adrienne, even though I love my name. So Addie Rar is like my artist name that I was going by when I'm creating and I'm designing. And that turned into just me like painting more, drawing more, just doing collages, just doing so much different work, which turned into me doing like art shows and pop-up shows, and I'm selling my art prints, and that turned into I created my first card collection in 2015, which was a Black card collection of Christmas cards. So it went from like Black Christmas cards I created till I started doing birthday cards and then graduation cards and then Mother's Day cards. And then that turned into mugs and stickers and coloring books and all these other great things. And it just kind of kept going.
Yeah, because I feel like you sold, like is it like 100,000 products or something like that?
Oh, yeah, it's 100,000 plus. I
Plus
sold it just by itself at one point. I remember, like, doing my tick off of, like, selling 10,000 journals, and everything.
wow.
So,
That is
yeah.
such a huge accomplishment. Like, what did that teach you just about, like, serving community?
It taught me that if you put yourself out there and so when I say put yourself out there, I actually mean, like, physically putting yourself out there. When I started and most of my business has been, like, in the field. So going to events, going to festival, going up to pop-up shops. I know for sure that helped when it comes to like my community and creating for Black men and women, specifically Black women at the time with Addie Raw brand. And I know that being present and people seeing me and people seeing my face and I'm smiling and I'm showing things off, that not only it made them feel like they're represented, but they also saw someone who enjoys doing this and loves it, and it's not just for money. And I can be honest that nothing I did was just for money. Absolutely, money is a bonus, is a plus, but it was actually more so like I wanted representation when it came to the products I was creating. And I also wanted people to see me too as representation, not just the work.
Were you ever scared of, like, putting yourself out there?
I'm always scared, like, it's no matter what. It's like, anytime I used to drop, like, a new product line or anything like that, I would be like, "Oh my god, are people gonna like it?" And then it's like, "Yeah, they love it. I sold out." And I'm like, "Okay." But I'm always still like, "Oh my goodness, what if this time is the one time I do it wrong?" And people are like, "No." And what if this one time it gets you canceled, you know? I'll be like, "Oh my goodness," like that.
Yeah, because I've definitely gone to, like, farmers markets, and you see folks standing by their table, just, like,
Yeah.
smiling, and I'm just like, "Wow, this is just so bold for them to put their product out here and just stand
Yeah.
by and smile and just hope that someone comes up or if you have that personality to be like, 'Hey, come check out my product,' like, oh my god, it's giving me tingles in my stomach just because it's like
Oh,
it's
it's
just
nerve-wracking.
so visible. It's like you can't hide, you can't be
Yeah.
like, 'Come see me,' and run off."
No, you just have to take it. But I feel like it's like an adrenaline rush. Like I love it. Like kind of how I guess like performers and musicians go on stage. I'm sure most people in like interviews say like they're so nervous and but they've done it hundreds of times, but still they're nervous. And so they go out there and they're like, oh, once they hear the claps and everything, it kind of just like goes down. That's how it is. Like I'm always nervous. I'm always like, oh my goodness. All it takes is like one person to be like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And I'm like, oh, I feel better now.
Yeah, yeah. That's really good to know. You've spent years helping other Black-owned businesses gain visibility.
Mhm.
Why has that become such an important part of your work?
I have spent the entirety of, like, Addy Raw up until now with the magazine, supporting and making sure I am putting other Black-owned business to the forefront. Even when I think back to, like, my very first art show that, like, I curated myself, I reached out to other Black artists and designers to be part of it. This was before a following on social media or anything at all. It was like, I want to not only spotlight myself, but spotlight other Black-owned businesses. And it's just one of those things where it's like you just wanna pull people up. You wanna pull people up as you go up, and I don't feel like I have to be at the top to start pulling people up. Like, you can even just kinda be, like, a little bit ways there, and you can still,
Yeah.
reach down and just pull people up. So even from the beginning and I say that because I feel like sometimes, like, I talk to people a lot, and they feel like, "Well, I'm not there yet. Like, I need to wait till I get maybe more followers or more subscribers or whatever it is before I can pull other people up." Like I did it from the beginning. Like before I even had anything, it's like, let's get together and let's do this show together because I can help you, but I'm sure you can help me too. So it's just always been part of like my business DNA. It feels good. I make a lot of great connections. I make a lot of great products and events and just great things when I work with Black-owned businesses. I did a candle line back in
Mhm.
2020 during the pandemic because
Oh.
I was just doing stuff during the pandemic, just testing out stuff. But I did like a candle collection. But again, I don't make candles. Like I was like, I'm not about to buy all the supplies to make candles. What can I do? Like I call up a Black company who makes candle and be like, can you make the candles? Like I want you to make the candles. I'm gonna make the artwork for the labels, but you make the candles because I don't. That's not my specialty. But that's how I like work with other Black-owned businesses and bring them up just as much. Like I said, they help me too.
Yeah, I love that idea because I think your first thought would be not yours, but I think like mine or maybe even the listeners might be like, "Okay, how do I make candles?" Like you think you have to do the whole thing yourself.
Yeah.
When you collaborate with other folks, do you use contracts? Like what does that system look like?
Ooh, they've all been pretty different. A lot of time, like even for the with the candles, it was more of I purchased from them, so it was like a wholesale type of
Okay.
kind of collaboration. So it wasn't like I hate to say work for free, but it was like I actually paid them. I paid them to make the candles and everything, and then my artwork was on it. But part of the kind of like deal was I also had their name on it as well. It was like an Adirondack candle, but like made by, and it had the name of the Black owned candle company. So I kind of made sure people knew that this is who I use. It wasn't like a private thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about the Black company I use. The point of me
Yeah.
using the Black company was so that I can tell people I use a Black candle company. Majority of the time when I am quote unquote collaborating with Black owned business, I'm paying them. Whether it's like a discounted price or a bulk price, like a volume discount because I may have ordered a lot. My goal is to try to pay them as much as possible. But then there's times when I do collaborate or I work with, these other Black owned businesses, and it may not be a form of exchange when it comes to paying them, but it may be a case where it is like promotion and sharing and things as well. So, yeah, we contracts are normally signed, invoices are normally sent. in some form, or sometimes it's just like more of an informal agreement. I'm one of those people who, if you don't ask, the answer is going to be no. So I'm one of those people who, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask. Like, it wasn't like the candle company was promoting that they did this type of work. Like, I just asked them, like, "Hey, would you do this for me?"
Right, right.
I think that also goes back to, like, my just kinda, like, courageous personality where I'm like, "I'm not scared." I mean, the worst they can say is no. Like, they could just
Yeah.
say, "No, I don't wanna do that," but I can get a yes out of it and make it
Right.
work out. I didn't need to, like, go find someone who I knew had already did it before and was doing it for hundreds of companies. I literally was just like, "I liked your candles. I purchased them before. I like how they smell. Hey." Like,
Yeah, that really makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like there's no need to get together with somebody before you and have a coffee talk and get a format. Just ask and see what happens.
yeah.
And you seem like you're approaching them with pretty much the idea. So it's like they
Yeah.
don't have to do a lot of the heavy lifting because you're like, this is the idea I have. Yes or no, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I already have it I already have it planned out. I don't know how to make it. Like, I just need to
Yeah.
do that part.
Yeah. What's something that you think folks misunderstand about entrepreneurship, especially, in our community, Black folks?
Um, I guess, like, it could be a misunderstanding. I think I'm gonna use it as a misunderstanding, is that you have to, like, work 24/7. I think that's, like, a misunderstanding. I think that is something we've been fed, especially in the Black community. We've been fed that we have to work 24/7 as an entrepreneur. It's no turning it off. It's like that sleep when you die type of mentality as an entrepreneur, and I think that's a misunderstanding. I think when people say, kinda constantly working your business, I think it's about, like, maybe be thinking about it, like, if you're out and about thinking about opportunities or networking, but actually working 24/7, I think that 24/7 mindset is a misunderstanding, and you should not be working 24/7. There should be a off switch. There should be a time where the door closes, but I think just mentally, because I don't work 24/7 at all. But I am constantly thinking about how things can connect back. I might circle back on it on a Monday because I'm like, I'm not working over the weekends, but I
Yeah.
am thinking about it, but I don't go into, like, spring into action, 24/7 or anything.
Yeah, I think that that's a really great thing to amplify that
Yeah.
that thought because even like some of the conversation I've had for this series, people have said like, "I'm always working," and it's like, yikes, how'd you say that? Because even myself, like I sometimes I just like to play like with my spreadsheets at night, but I have to be like, Stephanie, knock it off. Like, you could play with this tomorrow. Like, you're gonna have to literally use the spreadsheet tomorrow so you can, like, make things pretty colors then, like, get off the computer.
No, I am Stephanie, I am a boundary queen. Like, I have perfected boundaries when it comes to business. Like, I do not work on the weekends, and I do not work at night. And, like, when I say that, it's like a period at the end. Like, it's like, I do
Yeah,
not work on the weekends, I do not work again, my mind might be thinking of ideas, but I
sure.
am literally not I'm not sending the email. I'm not even opening the computer. I'm not looking at it because I think I got burnt out pretty early on. So I have been technically like a business owner, entrepreneur for what, 14 years ish. So in the first like 5 years, that was like that 24/7. Like it was like boom, 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 boom. By the time I hit year 5, I'm like, I can't do this no more. I'm not gonna be able to, as a person, survive if
Yep.
I'm working 24/7. So once I figured that out very early on, it was like, hey, you can't when I'm on the weekends and you see me out, don't ask me about no business. I'd be like, "I don't even know what Addy Raw is. Who is that?"
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with me today. Maybe we'll talk on Monday or Tuesday or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a good reminder. Even as you're talking, I'm like, "Okay, what is my time for c turning off the computer going to be?" So I'm gonna think about
Yeah.
that. What was your vision behind launching Everyday Black Magazine?
It was to launch a magazine that felt good. I think that's, like, the biggest thing. I wanted a magazine that felt good. I think that, especially right now in the climate of the world and the climate of the Black community and Black-owned businesses and entertainment, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of gossip. We have like, even, like, I forgot who I was talking to, it might have been, like, my fiancé or something, but, like, even when it comes to, like, TV programming and what we're watching, I remember 10 years ago. So we had so much more like positive, just Black TV we could watch. Whether it's
Yeah.
like sitcoms and just like game shows, even the dating shows were still a little bit like fun and like, just like a little more lighthearted. Now it's like
Yeah.
everything is so like not dark, but, like, it's so negative and but I'm not even saying, like, fighting because everything has have fighting in it, but, it's just so much negative and gossip and just so much going on that I'm like, I just want this magazine to not have any of that kinda trauma or negative feel to it. I want it to be joy. I want it to be fun, and I'm gonna figure out how to make sure every single issue has some type of joy and fun to it.
Yeah. Thank God for Everyday Black Magazine because it is so dark out here.
Yeah.
How would you describe the difference between Everyday Black Magazine and many mainstream publications?
The biggest thing is this is a community magazine. A community magazine means that the content inside of the magazine comes directly from the community, not indirectly. So it's not me reporting on something I read on Threads or me
Yeah.
reporting something that I saw in the blogs. It's me going directly to the source and talking to that person in the community. Whether it's a therapist, whether it's a farmer or anything, I'm going directly to the source and we're talking to them and they're contributing to the magazine with their information or their resources and everything. In the future, Everyday Magazine, I want it to have like formal writers. Right now, it's not any formal writers because again, I want the people in the community to contribute the way that they want to. Now I ask questions and I do like
Sh-
interviews, but
Sure.
it still kind of feels like they're giving the magazine what they want to make sure the magazine knows and to have. And I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist because I know that there's so many magazines and things, especially for our community. I'm not gonna say it's like only one that's community focused, but it's a little bit different than the magazines we know of, where they're not actually truly in the community. They're more so talking to someone who's already a celebrity or someone's always famous, someone who's already has the limelight on them, and they're not talking directly to like the person on the ground, unlike the community.
Yeah. You've said the magazine focuses on everyday Black people rather than the celebrity culture. Why was that distinction important to you?
It's a lot going on when it comes to like celebrities and
Yeah.
influencers and everything.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot going on. And let me be honest, I don't feel like that's the real world of quote unquote everyday Black person. I consider myself like an everyday Black person. Like forget social media followers, forget makeup and like that. Like I am regular. Like I'm and I'm not saying regular as in like basic living
Yeah.
wise, like, I make my lattes and stuff like that, but I mean
Period.
regular as yeah, right, like, but I mean regular as in my life is not a movie scene every single day. My life is not an episode of Housewives every single day. That's not my reality, and I feel like that's most of our lives, men or women, no matter our age, where it's just way more regular everyday things that's happening than these big glamorous things. And I feel like we have got to the point where only the big glamorous things are getting highlighted instead of the smaller, just everyday things. Like what are you like just an everyday thing of whether it is going out to lunch or cooking dinner with your family or spending time with your friends. Like those are just whatever. It doesn't have to always be the wedding. It doesn't have to always be this big gala or anything like that. It's still smaller things that are happening in the community that we can connect to. And like one of the big things, like even with the events and everything, I wanted to make sure I highlighted not just the big festivals, not just the big concerts that's happening, but what about the small ones that's happening? What about the small local film showings that's going on? What about the small local fashion shows that are happening too? We don't
Yeah.
have to just talk about fashion week. We have the small ones that are happening in different cities and at HBCUs and things as well that are just not getting highlighted when I feel like that connects more with a regular everyday Black person than New York Fashion Week does. Like it does to this. I'm not gonna speak
Yeah.
for every person. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna speak for everybody, but I just feel like, you know?
Yeah, well, you need both. I think like it's good to consume both things. I remember I had worked on a film that had went to a film festival in Gary, Indiana. And when I went to see the film, that film festival had been there for over 10 years. And that was my first time attending. And I'm like, I had no idea this was here. It's in the next, it like took me like maybe just under an hour to get there. I'm like, I had no idea. And if I
Yeah.
hadn't been a part of that film that was screening there, I might never have known. So I do think that you are right, to also highlight these things that folks just might not know about, you know what I mean? It's not Sundance, like, everybody knows about
Yeah.
Sundance Film Festival, but here's another popular film festival that was going on, like, everything was packed out, so there's so many things like that that are happening that do deserve to be highlighted.
And that is what I want and what I've been doing with Everyday Black is to make sure we're and make sure it's spotlight. Like I said, I think both can exist and I think both should exist. But I feel like we've already have enough of the other one. We already have well, I'm not gonna say enough. Let me not say that. I think
Yeah.
we have a lot already of the other ones where like the Sundances, like I said, the more I know like the Black American Film Festival happened, like those big ones. Not saying we should stop talking about those or highlighting those.
Yeah.
But we also need to make sure we're spending time highlighting the other ones as well. Because if we don't, it's going to get lost. And if something happens to the big one, which is, I hate to say like my fear, but if something happens to the big one, it's like nothing exists, right? Like if that big one goes away or funding or whatever it might be, people are going to be like, oh, we don't have anything anymore. And it's like, yes, we do. We have these over here as well.
Yeah, do you have any favorite stories that you've told in your magazine so far?
They're all pretty cool. I don't know if I don't feel like I have a favorite. And
Okay.
I in the next issue of the magazine, it's like I did an interview with someone who chases waterfalls, as a Black person.
Oh, fun.
Like that's so cool. So I am very intentional with making sure that the stories I am telling, the people I am talking to, are it's intentional that they're the ones that have not been highlighted before, that we're talking about things that's not talked about already. Again, the point of Everyday Black Magazine is to be more fresh, is to bring joy and positivity, but also not just repeating the same thing we've heard over and over and over again. Not because we should stop talking about those things. I just want to bring a fresh perspective and bring some more fresh stories about things that is not talked about enough or a lot in the Black community.
Yeah, are there any, specific communities or stories that you feel are still being overlooked that you are looking to spotlight?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I first of all, men, Black men,
Yeah.
let me first say I love Black men. I love the Black men who have supported the magazine. I kind of did like a call for Black men, like, hey, where y'all at? Like I need some representation for y'all in the magazine. It's hard for me to find y'all, not because y'all don't exist, it's because what I've learned. Black men are on social media, but they don't be like commenting and they don't be like interacting a lot. So like even when I made the post, there was a lot of like women talking about their husbands, like, "Oh, my husband do this. I can give you his contact," but it still wasn't like the Black man is himself, like speaking up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're screaming it to like everyone, like, "I want you to know I just started crocheting. I want you like Black men are like they're doing something really cool, but they're just not talking about it a lot." So I want to make sure that I continue to highlight definitely Black men. I have talked to already some Black men doing cool things, run clubs and opening gyms and
Yeah,
chefs and fishing and all these kind of things. I want to continue to make sure that Black men are being represented. And all the cool everyday, things that they're doing as well. Also, the older I'm older. I'm in my mid-30s, but I say older, I mean, like, the 40, 50, and even 60-year-old Black men and women, too. I want to represent them more, too. I want to make sure I'm telling their stories, whether it's about finances, whether it's about their second marriage, whether it's about, adopting kids, whether it's about starting that business at 50. I want to make sure I'm representing them as well, too, because I do also feel that in general, mainstream media focus on like the age group of like 20s to like early 40s.
yeah.
So I wouldn't even say 20s. I would say like late 20s, late 20s to early 40s. And then the 50 plus or 60 plus who are still very active, who are on social media, who are actually reading magazines, who are actually buying, they're not seeing themselves in the media.
So, how does the subscription model work? You have a print magazine, which I love because print isn't dead. It's
Yep.
still alive and well. So,
Yeah.
how does it work? How do we support?
So the magazine is actually completely free to subscribe to the digital magazine.
Okay.
All you have to do is to subscribe with your email.
Okay.
Email address, that'll get you access to get in the digital copy. Like the way you do it, you go to the website, you put your email address in, it'll take you to the page you can download the digital magazine. Um,
Okay.
Digital magazine means that it's a digital file that you can save on your computer or your phone or your tablet. You can view it too, but you can also like save it. It's a
Mm.
PDF file, so you can save it. It's also an interactive PDF, which means you can click the links inside of it.
Oh,
So
nice.
if there's a like a website for the business or someone's Instagram, everything is like hyperlinked. So if you see like a Instagram in the magazine in the digital version, you can just click on it, it'll take you to the Instagram page. If you see www dot, anything, that means you can click on it and it'll take you to that web page. That makes it easier so you're not looking at the digital magazine and like, oh, I like this business. Now let me hop over here and go to their website. You can just click it from the magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yep. And it's a digital magazine. It's completely free. If you want the print version, there is no subscription
Mm,
for the print version. You can
okay.
just purchase a one-off of the print copy of
Oh,
the
got it. Okay. Oh,
that
okay.
is,
Simple enough.
yep, that's an option. You just want to purchase it. I will say this, the cost of print is not what you think when you walk into the bookstores and you see these magazines and they're $5.99, $6.99. It costs a lot more. I don't mind explaining, but when the cost of print is very expensive. This is a full color magazine. It's on magazine paper, so it's not like on this regular type of printer paper. So the cost of it is a lot. It's a lot to print a magazine. Um, and I'm not ordering them in like bulks. I'm ordering a million, like our popular favorite magazines are ordering a million copies at a time. So they're getting them for $2, $3. So that's
Yeah.
not how it works. This is a small, brand new magazine and it's funded by me.
Mm,
So because of that, if you want a magazine that's print, you're paying how much it costs for it to get printed and everything, which is
oh,
gonna be 15, 16, 17, 18, $19, depending on how many pages are in it. But again, it's because of I'm just not able to order millions at a time and to sell them for $5.99.
yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. There's tons of magazines that are still out there, even in the bookstores that are still like, $25, $30
Yeah.
because
Printing is
that's
expensive.
just, yeah, yeah. It's not dead, but it comes with a cost.
Yes, I get it off, but it costs.
Thinking about the legacy of the work that you're doing, community, culture, respect, legacy, economic empowerment, integrity, and transparency are the core values of the magazine. Which of those feels most important to you right now?
I'm gonna say transparency is going to be and representation.
Hmm.
Again, I created this magazine for multiple reasons, but one of the things that set on my heart for it was like a year of thinking of this magazine before I put it into the world. And one of the biggest thing was representation because again, I want to see Black people represented in every aspect. I wanted to see someone who is from like a small town feeling like they see themselves in this magazine as well. I wanted to see someone who may not have the high end corporate job to see themselves in this magazine as well. I wanted to see one who doesn't have the budget to buy a Louis Vuitton bag to see themselves in this magazine. I wanted someone who can't afford the 5-star resort to see themselves in this magazine. And representation, we always say, but like being Black is not monolithic, right? Um, there's not just one way to be Black, and being, like, luxury Black is not the only way to be Black as well, and it's not the only way to be seen as being Black and not broke, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be luxury, but, I just wanted for people to feel represented and seen in this magazine, and I also wanted transparency, and what the transparency means is that anything and everything that's happened with the magazine, I will be open about. I will talk about. I will let you know how many subscribers are to the magazine, if it's doing well, if it's not doing well. Hey, we need help here. We need help here. And just being very open. It is me. I'm not front facing as far as like always being on social media and showing my face when it comes to magazine. However, I want people to know the person behind the magazine. Um, that's a big part of the transparency as well. Like I want you to know me being the actual person who created this magazine. I want you to see me. I also want you to know the business owners who are in the magazine. I want you to know that they are truly Black owned businesses. a big part of that, unfortunately, comes from we are now in a place where, like, AI and people are doing digital blackfacing, which is
Oh my
being
god.
the digital blackfacing is basically creating, like, a whole page, an Instagram page, and it's all Black people, but the person who's running the account is not Black. Like, that is, like, digital blackfacing,
That
where
is
it's
so bizarre. Like,
yeah,
who
yeah,
does
like,
that? Who does
these
that?
like people who just want because people love our culture, they love us, they love how we look, they love our style, they love our fashion. So it's like someone might create a Everyday Black magazine, but them themselves are not Black at all. The writers are not Black. No one is Black, but they wanted to create a Black magazine because they see that that's what people will gravitate towards. And it's kind of like even like our hair products. Like I feel
Yeah.
like we're on a tangent, but like we know this hair products is like this is called something something Black this or African this, and the person behind it is not Black, African, or anything at all. But they
Yeah.
knew that Black people will gravitate towards it. So again, part of the transparency is one, you can see me. You can see that, me and my motives and what I want from the magazine, but also the people who are in it too. I am very much checking and making sure, who they are, if they are who they say they are, if their business actually is their business and everything as well too. So making sure that if somebody has any questions, anything, I'm open to talk about. We're not going to talk about it openly, but if you ask, I don't mind talking about it. If someone
Yeah.
reaches out and say like, "Oh, I want to know this, and this," I don't mind explaining or talking to you. Like I was just talking about the cost of the print. Like this is how much the print magazines cost because of this. I don't mind telling you. If you want me to show you all the figures, I can show you that too. Because I don't want you to think I'm scamming or anything like that. But it's
Yeah.
just being very transparent and open.
Yeah. My last quick thing about this tangent, I'm very leery when I see like Black t-shirt companies when like those like Rosa Parks said this. I'm like, you have to show your face on those. I'm like, I need you talking about them. I do not. Yeah, I'm like, some of
Yeah.
those, I'm like, I don't know if that's a Black-owned company, actually.
It's gotten bad. AI has made it so much worse because now it's like they can kinda create even like a fake Black person,
It's
to be
bizarre.
yeah, like to even be the face of it and everything. So it's gotten kinda crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a sponsor that was considering, like, sponsoring the series that was AI, and I'm just like, I don't think so.
Yeah,
It's like especially for stuff like that, it's one thing if you're like, "Hey, we can help you, like, organize your day," like, if
yeah,
it's, like, something, like, administrative, but, like, I don't know if I want to, like, highlight these types of licenses where you're, like, making, like, an AI podcast or I
yeah.
just, like, no, you could talk to me and I'll help you make a podcast, or, like, whatever you wanna do. It's like, no. But yeah, sorry, but I just wanted to tell you
No,
that 'cause I'm just like, yeah, that's just so it's so gross.
it
Like, I can't
is.
imagine, like, starting, like, a Instagram with just, like, all, like, Asian mothers. Like, "Hey, guys, I'm a Chinese mother, and this is how I take care of my baby." You would be like, "Stephanie, what are you doing?"
Yeah. It happens, and it happens to our
Yeah.
business the most. Like, it happens to the Black-owned businesses the most. So
Mm.
I be having to research. I be having to over here, like, "Let me see your LinkedIn page. Let me see."
Yeah. Yeah. What gives you hope when you think about the future of Black business creators and storytellers?
Gives me hope is that I feel like as a whole Black community, we absolutely are craving to see our Black businesses and Black creators and Black entertainers thrive. Like, we are craving it. I have not had a conversation with someone, whether it is in person or online, where they don't feel like I am craving that. I feel like we had it so like well at one point, and it kind of got really weird and everything. And I feel like we're back to craving it. Like we're craving. We can't wait for a Black TV show to come out. We can't wait
Yeah.
for a Black movie to come out. Like we can't wait for us to learn about a new Black-owned business. It's more so about, of course, the marketing, the funding, and getting in front of the faces. But I feel like right now more than ever, like I am confident and feels good that we are craving that Black media entertainment and creativity again, and it feels great. And I think that's what gives me hope that as we continue to crave that Black excellent in all ways, that we'll get there. We'll get to the point where we can catch up where it's like we're craving it and it's there and it's available and they'll kinda be matched together at the same time.
Yeah. One of the last things I'll say about that I really love about your magazine is that just as, an artist myself, when thinking about ways to sort of share the work that I'm doing, you know, social media is there, but it's just like one tool. And I feel like we need so many other vehicles, outside of just like maybe, dropping flyers in the coffee shop or, sending text messages. So I really love that the magazine is available. It's just another avenue for folks to be able to share their story that is away from social media.
Yeah, I am a big, like, physical media person, magazine.
Mhm.
We have, like, DVDs and CDs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So my, doomsday reason for doing it is because I'm just like, if social media goes away, we need to make sure we have the physical Black books in the house. We need to make sure we
Yeah.
have the physical Black CDs. Like, if Spotify gets shut down, we need to make sure we can still visit that Black album we want. So that's like my, on this side, I'm kinda like like,
Yeah,
but
that's
then
so real.
when the grid pops, so when the grid breaks, like, make sure you have those. So we have Black books in our house. We have Black cookbooks and historical books and entertainment fictional books as well. We have, like I said, CDs and vinyls and DVDs because there's like a little part of me that's like, man, when the digital grid pops, I want to make sure I can still hold on to our Black things. And then also we know that like they're trying to erase a lot of Black culture and history in schools and everything. And it's kind of like, in 10 years, how can you tell this young person this happened in the Black community if all we're relying on is a social media post? All we're relying on is, like a video you post on a reel. We're trying to rely on that 10 years later. And then our phones don't even allow us to view the video anymore or anything like that. But we'll have things like physical magazines still. We'll have things like books still as well. And people love collecting physical medias. I know
Yeah,
some people like their collection of their Jet magazines and the collections of their Evie magazines and everything, so
yeah. What's next for you and Everyday Black Magazine?
Well, just to continue growing,
Mm.
um, just just growing the big future, and I don't have a number on, I don't have a year 1, 2, 3, 4, but the goal is also to just get out there, to start going to physically see people in person, to do the interview and to go
Yeah,
to the event and do coverage at the events and everything. That's like the big future of it, is to be a media outlet that actually is like on the ground. Right now it's not physically on the ground at the events that's happening and going to people's homes to interview them. But that is like the future. I want to make sure that it continues to be a community magazine, and community magazine meaning on the ground, going to these community events or functions or meeting people directly in their community to tell their story as well.
yeah. Adrienne, it's been so lovely speaking to you. Is there anything else that we should bring up before we call our conversation complete?
Just subscribe to Everyday Black Magazine. Again, it's completely free to
Yeah.
subscribe. I always say that because I know people get kind of scary and say subscribe. No, it's just like an email subscription. You just gotta sign up. Make sure you subscribe to the magazine. Be on the lookout. There's 3 more issues to come out. This year's bi-monthly, so 3 more pending issues to come out. Donate to the magazine, as I kind of mentioned a little bit. Like, this is all funded by me. I put my own personal money that I made to the side to help keep the magazine going and everything. So funding helps with me printing more magazines to send out because I send them to different places. I am looking to pay writers in the future, so helping donating to the magazine helps with that. I gotta have certain programs, licensings, websites, all that kind of stuff needs to be paid for, stock photos and everything. So there is a donation button on the website. So if you have anything to give, $5, it doesn't matter. It just helps out with paying for the back end of keeping the magazine up and running. Because it costs a lot. It costs a lot to keep the magazine running. But yeah, I'm excited for people to continue to read and enjoy the magazine. I've gotten so much great feedback from the magazine, like so much great feedback from the magazine, that it just keeps me fueled to keep this going.
Yeah. I really love what you're doing and really appreciate what you're doing. Um, I think really like my last question is like monthly, like what is the ideal contribution that you would love somebody to make?
Ideal contribution, if someone's going to do this like a one-time donation, a $50 donation helps a lot. That can like
Mhm.
help pay for just like the programs that I have to use to design it, like I said, the website fee. But if you like on a monthly, like a $10 a month donation can help go a long way with keeping up with all the fees that has to go into it and helping me bank up money again to pay for writers. I have to pay
Yep.
a lot of the money I have to use goes to again paying for stock photos.
Okay.
Since I'm not like on the ground taking pictures and everything, I have to purchase stock photos, and black stock photos cost a lot more. So that's like a lot of a cost. I got Adobe Creative Suites, like
Oh my gosh, you don't even get me started on Adobe Creative Suite.
so like it's like a $10 a month donation. If it's like on a reoccurring, will do wonders to just help pay for things behind the scenes to keep the magazine going so that it can come out on time, so that it can get in the hands of the people that it's supposed to be in the hands of.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you, Stephanie, for having me.
That concludes another episode of Nosy AF, 31 Days of Black Business. I'm your host and friend, Stephanie Graham. I hope you took something away from today's conversation and had a good time hanging with us. Be sure to check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest and consider supporting their work. You know how it goes, whether you're making a purchase, hiring them, or simply spreading the word. Listen, who doesn't love a referral? It truly all makes a difference. Quick thank yous go out to Queen Lex and Freddie Bam Bam for the Nosy AF theme music, and Emma McGolrick, who hooked me up with the cover art and branding. Shout out to the partners and supporters for this series. You could check them out in the show notes as well. Super grateful for a partner. Hello. That's the show, friends. Until tomorrow, stay curious and take care. Bye.